All right, let's go on here pretty soon. Talk about some stuff. I'll let some other folks jump in here. Get some stuff going on. But so just give me a second as we get this going. Remember to look at the camera because the camera's up there. It's interesting because I'm looking at my screen right here. So it's the first time I've done the YouTube one, and I'm kind of tired of Facebook. It doesn't really work well for me. But I don't know. We'll try the YouTube, see how it works. I think I have double audio. Let me fix that. Yep, there we go. That should fix the double audio. Let's see. That's how the comment thing works here. Let's see. Sound. Let's see. I'm probably going to get phone calls, stuff like that, so I can mute my phone. I don't know. Figure this one out. But we're going to get going here. Current viewers, not many. Let's give it a few seconds. Kind of unannounced. Like doing a video on some stuff. Someone could comment. That would be great. Oh, thanks, Frank Lopez. All right, so kind of want to do a video on, kind of to buy new or to not buy new, to build, to do something where you're building a custom cocker, or you're taking something old that's not being manufactured anymore and rebuilding it. There was a post where a guy was asking about a resurrection on one of the forums and what people thought was the best thing to do. That he get, what's the best avenue to go? Do I get a resurrection? Do I go with an older marker that's used? Do I buy something new that's at the top tier price point? I kind of gave my 2 cents on that, and a lot of good opinions on that. Thanks, Rennick. I guess just Rennick. I don't know how you say your name, but a lot of good opinions on that. I'm going to kind of give you my opinion and kind of go over some general cost stuff. Now I'm a dealer, so I have my own store. It's a web store, so Docfire Paintball, yeah, that's my own plug that I get. That's why you don't see many reviews anymore, because it's kind of, I don't know, like if I do a cocker review, it's kind of biased because I came out with my own marker here not too long ago. So through Shock Tech Paintball. So it's kind of tough to do that. But I'm going to kind of go over, what someone should do. What's the best value? Do I buy something new? And the kind of the price range that we look at is free flow are around the $1,300 and up, $1,200 to $1,300. And then you have Inception Designs, and I'm going to bring up these web pages so I can get some closer dollar amounts. So, but Inception I think is right around 15 or 16. Let's go see what it is. Inception Designs. Oh, of course I paintball. All right, let's find out what Inception Designs. Well, that one's not. Copy it. I figured I'd have these things as links, but I don't. I have so many favorites that it's ridiculous. Okay, let me go to Shock Tech now. And someone's going to have to remind me what the free flow was going for on that. All right, so now Inception Designs on their complete guns. Here we are, or markers. Let's look on the wall. Okay, so they're retro flea full with a fade ano, like a triple fade, but 2-color fade. They're $16.39 for that. Their splashes are, they on some of their other ones they're all $16.39. Their lowest end gun, and let's sort by low to high. Their lowest end Retro Hornet matte black is $9.99, so that's right at 1,000. Let's go to. I want to make sure that my live streaming thing's up here. Okay, resurrections are great for the. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I don't know how you say your name, Rainick or something like that. I want to say Rainick, but it's not. But he's saying that resurrections are great for starting players and getting into autocockers. Yeah, I do too. I think. Well, let me back that up. Let me go grab something real quick, and I'm going to grab my resurrection and bring it in here, and then we'll talk a bit more about that. Hold on a second. All right, come on back. All right, sorry about that, guys. All right, so here is my resurrection. Now, yes, this has an Inception flea body, I guess, or their lightweight body. This is one of the first gens that he did. And this serial number on this guy, and I gotta get my glasses out here. This is an early one. This is, well, they started at, it's a long serial number, but it's really 273. It's actually a low serial number. So that one right there, that was when Empire first came out with these resurrections. I remember they announced it. I already had a Sniper 2, and I really liked the Sniper 2. It had its issues, but for a pump gun that was that price and what you got with the barrel kit and stuff like that, pretty decent gun. Ran at a low pressure. Seemed to work pretty good. Not a big pump player, so. They were a good lower end gun, and I'm the one that did. If you look at my first YouTube video, is I took the Empire pump and put a carnivore front block on it and made it a mech, which is kind of funny. I think it's kind of starting all over again. But then I got some phone calls from some industry folk on that one. That was pretty interesting. But I got the first resurrection, to my understanding, in California, and I had called the company Empire and begged to have one sent to me. I'd pay full freight, everything, stuff like that. And then they wouldn't do that. So I asked them, I go, so who's going to get the first batch? Which store? They said, well, it's going to be Boss Paintball. It's really close to us. So I ended up calling Boss and Boss Paintball and had them ship me one right when they came in. So it's my understanding I got the first one in California, but there could have been one. I know I was early on getting the reviews done on custom cockers and some YouTube stuff on that. And I was really impressed with this. It had a lot of nice features. And if you guys haven't seen that, go check that review out. It's a really old review, so I was kind of learning how to do reviews. And but all in all, it was I really liked it because they took some AK stuff, they took some Bell Cell stuff. The three-way looks like a Check-It three-way, that the stainless steel Check-Its, but it was really a three-way with the 1x3 millimeter O-rings in there, and those were that was new. That was having the metric stuff was a little that was kind of interesting. So it's a good marker. I shot that thing a lot, and then I rebodied it here not too long ago, and I really liked it. Really good marker. Now, the recent resurrections that you go by, the stuff that's the last of the line that's being made, I've had several in for repairs, and the tolerances on those are horrible. I mean, they're literally, man, they're tough to get working sometimes. But it is what it is. So let me go back here and see. Rainick, okay, thanks, Rainick, that's cool. Okay. Looking, mech carnivores. I'm trying to read some of this stuff. let's see, mech carnivores works. I wish no drilled carnivore bodies were the thing. Yeah, I do too. I actually had two of the raw non-drilled bodies back in the day. I bought them off a guy on eBay was selling them, and I sold them probably for dirt cheap compared to what they're worth to a couple pump players, I think. But I kind of regret that. Is there recommend a new shock tech contract? Okay, so what would I recommend? And man, so I am biased on that, right? So because this gun right here, this green, well, both of these. This is the ShockTech Fire Series SFL. It's a gun that I'm in collaboration with ShockTech with. So I'm biased, but so the irony of this whole thing is I was never a ShockTech guy. I'm an AK guy, and an AK is technically the main AK is gone, and Jared's running it now, and but he's not building guns, right? He's not making markers, and so this kind of like this resurgence of autocockers came back. Inception Designs steps out and does a full body, which I think everyone was had the resurrection. They got the mid block or whatever you want to, they got that. I thought it was a bad decision for Empire to do that, but they went down that road. I think they went for whatever reason they went down that road. Maybe a cost thing, I don't know. But I was excited. I was excited to see Simon do what he's doing. And I remember when he first started, he didn't have full guns. Him and I would talk every once in a while. I'd be driving home from work when I was working and would give him a call, and we'd run by ideas. And he was doing some bodies. He was doing some remill bodies. Pneumatics, obviously, he had done, which are basically a different cut version of the Resurrection stuff. And I had told him at that time, I said, hey, man, you know what we really need are frames, and he goes, frames too expensive to make. And I go, well, I said, people are paying, $250 for, Humpback Angry at the time. Now I think they're paying over $300, which is ridiculous. And then he came out shortly with frames, and then full guns, full markers. And here's my horn. Actually, I have a green screen, so I don't know if this is going to work. Yeah, it kind of does. This Predator's green. It looks black in the thing. This is my Predator. It did have a slider on it. It has the rip frame on it. And this is number 399. Or 300. No, it should be number 300. It's the last of the full-size body greens. And it's a good gun. I like shooting it. Inception Designs went through some kind of iterations of some bolt issues with blowback and stuff like that, and they worked their way out to the bolt they have now, which is that tri-flow bolt. Seems to work really good. I think they did some valve iterations, three-way iterations, where the first version of the three-way had all the ports were the same bore size, the holes, so you still had that O-ring had to cross that same distance, and then he made those smaller so you could really have a much shorter pull or a shorter switch time. And you still have a long pull, but a shorter switch time. And so there was always refining it. So Inception's done a great job. Now, even if I back up from there, Rob from Niche Paintball and the folks over at Niche down in Southern California, they came out with the Nemesis. And they were the first one to stick their neck out. And I commend Rob for that. There was a lot of issues. My Niche came in at number 16. So you guys probably seen it on the web. And it leaked. It didn't really it leaked out of the box, which is kind of disheartening. But hey, if you're a cocker guy and you don't have a cocker that leaks sometimes or whatever, then and you can't fix it, then maybe it's not the best tool for you. But at least back in the day. So let me read some of those things. So let's see. I bought a form for Pro Stock Nude or false contract waiting for the. Oh, hey, pneumatics are available, Frank. I just sent a kit off to someone. I have all pneumatics. If you want me to assemble it as a kit, hit me up in Facebook, message me on Docfire Paintball or Docfire Down Under Reviews, and then I'll invoice you for a kit. And I'll just assemble it as a kit instead of separates and sell it to you at kit price. Sorry about that. So I'm just trying to catch up on the notes here. It's been very disappointed with anything shocked. Never been very disappointed. Okay, yeah. So Ray next saying that he hasn't been disappointed with the Shock Tech, Bad Boys Toys, and yes, A Camp would be love to see them return. All right, Frank. Yeah. So yeah. So Inception. So Rob from Nietzsche comes out his guns, and he builds the thing from the ground up, every part on it, and I commend him on that. He really followed the Wargames spec on a lot of stuff. He used the Wargames regulator. This three-way was based off the CCM three-way, which has funky size O-rings, by the way. For those of you trying to replace those, it's a different type of rubber they used. And his Tickler LPR, and then his RAM was a CCM style RAM, and then a few other things. And then his bolt was like an evolution, or no, his valve was like an evolution valve, and his bolt was really interesting, really small hole bolt, which I thought was interesting. And that he learned a lot from that, and then he continued down the avenues that he's gone since. But then really kind of the first player, and you guys all know this, Inception Design, Simon Stevens, left Empire, started his own company, and came out with parts and then a complete gun, and then frames. And his frames are based on the Resurrection style with that type of trigger plate. And actually that trigger plate design actually comes from CCM did that, where they had the two glide bolts, not glide screws, but like shoulder bolts that the frame had, or the trigger has glide screws or glide grooves in. And CCM was doing that, but he kind of upped that design and actually made it pretty nice. It's very like a switch filling setup. And then shortly, Simon's kind of running the loop there, and the mechs are starting to come back, and some rules start to change in Tournament World and stuff like that. Along comes Shock Tech, and they're, I think, 2017, and Riddick Miller, Danny Love, and they come back and they bring back the SFL. I think those Tequila Sunrise fades. They build those. It has a pretty good welcoming to the community. It's kind of nice. It was kind of nice to see something different. And the funny thing is I was never a Shock Tech guy. I honestly, like I said earlier, I didn't like them. I didn't like the looks of the guns. I even told Danny, I go, yeah, I've never liked your guns. I never owned one because I thought they're ugly. I thought the Shock Tech down the side looked like, to me, just wasn't my style, right? And that's okay. I've had their parts. I've used their bomb for years. I've used the rams and stuff like that. Some of the other parts I've used for years and really enjoyed them. But the guns, this wasn't my thing. And then he came out with this one, the Desert Fox. And Desert Fox being close to me, I'm in the Sacramento region of California. We're in the Sierra Foothills. And this is Desert Fox. It is out of the Bay Area. And so came out with this, and this thing looks amazing. I was like, wow, I really like this. But it had this funky Field 1 barrel kit, which I didn't really know much about. And I just said, hey, I'm buying full freight. And it's interesting. I've been tuning and building for years. And, am I any older than the other guy out there? Am I any better than anyone else? I don't know. No. I don't know. I don't try to claim to be anything more than what I really am. Make sure I'm not going to miss any stuff here. So that comes along, and it's an amazing gun. I get it. It's the only paintball marker that I've owned that I haven't stripped apart and put it together the way I like to have them built. I've not touched this thing except take the frame off the lube, clean it from paint, and just haven't done anything. This is an amazing shooter. And it's interesting, when I decided to open a store during COVID times, and it was not because I needed to. I'm retired from Cal Fire here in California, and 32 years, and I wanted something to do. And so I said, what the hell? Why don't I just try to do this paintball thing, do an online store? I was going to do headbands, and I'm still doing headbands, Halo headbands. And I reached out to Shock Tech, got a dealer account with them. They're really, really easy to get a dealer account with. It was kind of nice. And started buying parts. And within 6 months of having that dealer account, I I end up getting a hold of Danny and I go, hey, I want to do a run of guns. I want to do a fire series, or I want to do a Docfire series. We didn't know what we were going to call it that time, and that's what spawned the fire series. You see that right there? That's what spawned out of there. Which more are coming. We're just dealing with some COVID issues, and kind of some slowness on that. And the anodizers, not that you never. It's always the anodizers gets the old screw, right? They always get it's always the anodizer's fault. So. That's a shock take. I do a review on that. I love the gun. I still love it to this day. It's a shooter. And that's not to say there's anything bad about my Inception. It's a shooter. I can go out and shoot all day long with it. I just received in the mail, this is a gun that, it's got the Docfire on. This is the Free Flow Clutch. Aesthetic Anodizing out of Canada. Did the blue acid wash, blue to black acid wash on it. Thanks, Crickets, for loving the headbands. I need to order more. I'm almost out of them, by the way. I got this. I haven't done a review on this because I got it after I've done the fire series. I acquired the gun on some site, so we'll leave it at that. And so it didn't. My cost on this was very minimal. They put Docfire on that for me. Thank you, buddy, for that. I got the gun. It is built a little different. This is the first free flow I've ever owned outside of some older free flow stuff that was primarily just a war games, remill, just on some degree. Not, they didn't do a lot of changes on it. I do like free flow bolts. The Venturi bolts work really well, and they are doo-doo brown, but I don't care. They work well. And so I got this gun, and I like it. So let me see if I can go to Free Flow's webpage real quick. Free Flow paintball. Let's see if I can find that. All right, let's see if they have prices on here. I don't know if they do. They're horrible about having prices. I think I need to go to their Facebook account. Let me see if I can get on their Facebook. Hold on, folks. I think that's where they have their prices. Bunny's done a bang up job over at Free Flow. It's really knocked a whole bunch of stuff out. They have a little different model. They pre-sale. I'm not a big fan of the pre-sale, and to a certain degree, just. I don't know. I'd rather just have my chance at ordering online. I'm trying to see where their advertisement is for their new. If I scroll down and look at I find their photos. He does a really good job on social media. So does Simon. All right. So here we go. Here's their Lotus. Their Lotus starts at $11.95 and then goes up from there depending on ammo and barrel kit. And so, basically, with the barrel kit, it's $100 with an Acculot system, which includes 2 inserts. So you're at $12.95, $1,300, and then depending on your ammo, if you do anything other than dust solid, then the price goes up from there. Let me see what the prices are on the Lotus. I can't find it now, but I'm looking for the prices. Anyway, so it goes up from there. So he's starting around with the barrel. So most guns are coming with the barrel. Simon's are coming with a full barrel kit for that, $1,500. The Retro Hornet one for $9.99. It comes with 2 barrel backs, 6A5 and a 697. 697 is non-usable, so it comes with 1 barrel back. That's a reality. With today's paint. And then their top end guns, their high end 1639 guns, they come with a full barrel kit, color match, the whole 9 yards. ShockTech guns, $15.99 for their top tier guns outside of their custom builds. That's kind of their standard with their gloss, multi splash fade, reverse fade, anos. $15.99, and then it's another $90 to make $16.90-ish. So $16.90 for, I think that's right. Those numbers are right. I think it's close enough. For theirs, top tier gun with a full barrel kit, and that's Accolot full usable barrel kit, which is nice. And then Free Flow, I have to look at their stuff if I can find the caliber thing here, or the clutch. Oh, here we go. Here's the clutch. Clutch, yeah, basically $1,200 for the clutch. Barrel kit makes it $1,300. And I don't even know if it's a usable barrel kit. Let's see what sizes it has in it. 683 and no, so it's a non-usable barrel kit. 683 is probably the only one that in some moisture climates it may work well, and that's with both barrel kits. They have a Freak XL or a Accolot light kit, which just comes with. So they're right at $1,300, or that $1,000 without. Oh wait, it comes with. I take that back. It comes with the flight. I take that back. Let me rephrase it. It's $1,195 or $1,200, and it comes with the flight system, which is the 680, 684, and 688. 688 is worthless. 684 is on football days, and 680 depends on where you are. Here in California, 680 is roll through for 90% of the stuff that we're getting, especially from GI. It's kind of junk. It's not junk. I'm not gonna say it's junk. Let's see. Here's I got to catch up on. Oh, I see Dylan Cockertop's in there. Hey, Dylan, how's it going? Okay, Dylan's got the numbers on. Cool. All right, so I kind of did some rough numbers on. There's kind of going back to, hey, should I buy new or should I go and look at like a War Games, buy used War Games? Well, they wanted to compare that. What's the big difference from getting a new ShockTech, Free Flow, or the Inception gun? And how do you compare that against something that's no longer being made? Now, quintessentially, this is probably my favorite autococker for War Games. I love the Oracles. I really like these. And, how do you compare that to that? And how do you compare it to a Resurrection, a current Resurrection that's brand new that you can still buy at A&S Gear or any of those places that are not sponsored or anything like that? How do you compare that? For price wise, if you were to break down, if you were to make, you can go on eBay, and I'll have to do a little eBay search, and you may be able to find an Oracle like this, and you're probably going to pay upwards of, I don't know, I'll have to look on eBay or Facebook forums or Facebook pages, probably, $600 to $800, I think. And if you're buying a ShockTech, and I don't have that ShockTech. If you're buying a ShockTech that comes with a barrel kit, you got to probably spend close to $800 to $900 more. Inception, you're right about the same if you're doing with the full barrel kit. But now, granted, you're getting this essentially probably with a barrel that's useless. It looks good. It's ammo matched. And probably won't work with most paint, so you're going to be buying a barrel kit if you don't already have one. And so, what is the best value per dollar? Or what do? Do you go out and you find yourself a body and you start upgrading it, right? Like, what's his name in here? Either Crickets or Lopez. You go out and you say, hey, look, I like my War Games bodies. I like the looks of them. I'm just going to upgrade it with Inception, ShockTech, Free Flow, whatever your flavor is of the month, whatever suits your fancy, and I'm going to completely go through it. What is the cost of that? And when you look at like ShockTech stuff, let's go. Let's see if we can start adding stuff up. I think I already added some of it up. Let me go on my phone here. Oh. Thought I had some numbers here. Yeah, okay. So with a ShockTech front end kit, which is 3-way LPR banjo bolt with the LPC and the RAM, you're gunfighter frame, your shock tech lower tube, so your, which is the hammer, the springs, the valve, and the cocking rod, and then your bolt, and an ASA, and I did an Inception ASA. That's the most popular one, right around $50. Your regulator, I did a CP to kind of go on the lighter end of that. That's like $79 or $72. And I didn't do a pump arm, and which is $20, so we could add $20. So that's about $860, right? Just in parts that you're buying at retail price, $860. And if you were to pay, let's say, I'm horrible with math, so that's why I have my calculator out here. Dylan's probably doing this really fast because he's pretty quick at that stuff. Clear. Okay. 860 minus 1600, let's say, equals $740. Now, granted, there isn't a barrel kit on that 860, so you're adding, depending on what barrel kit you want, that's going to be ammo matched to your gun, which is kind of nice, and usable ammo matched, which is makes you look like you're styling out there, right? So you're looking good. So you're right around, so let's say it's 740 minus, what's a barrel kit? Let's see. Let's go to Shock Tech's, a full Field 1 barrel kit. Barrel kit with inserts. Complete $99 plus 79. So I could do the calculator here. 99 plus 79, 178. So oops, I said 740 minus. So you're $500. You're save $500 more. Yeah, $500 is a lot of money. It's paint, stuff like that. But man, well, Brandon. Oh, I got the dogs barking. So sorry about that. So you're still, you're saving yourself $500 or around that ballpark. I didn't include fittings and air hose and all that stuff. So let's, say right around $500. And sorry if the dogs are barking. They get whacked out about certain things. And so, yes, you can buy a lot of paint with that. You can buy a hopper with that. You can buy a nice set of goggles with that. Probably, if you're already playing paintball, you already have that stuff. But what are you really gaining? Well, you're going to have to go source a body. Wait, that's right. We don't have a body yet. So $500 for a body. Let's go to Fleabay and see what's on Fleabay. Let's see, I got to go look at the catch up on the comments. As I'm going to Fleabay. Yeah, Dylan, I don't know if they have the drill ori body still or not. I'd have to look on that to see if they do, but it is the drill body, and I don't, some of that new old stock I always am leery with. But anyway, so let's go to Fleabay, and let's look at Autoconquer paintball, and let's see if I can. Why is it searching weird like that? Search. Okay. And we're going to do used. And we're going to sort as a buy it now. Let's look at that. Buy it now. Okay. Here's a black STO, $650. Here's a parts only. Okay, here you go. $260 parts only. It's actually not a bad price on this. It's one of those. Actually, it's one of those black bodies, and I can't remember which model it is. It's kind of got the swirly swoops on the side, and the little sight rail's got the slits, kind of hump milled. And you could get those bodies at Paintball Gateway in matte black at the time, and I can't remember. They were going for dirt cheap there for a while. They were selling those things for $30. And so this guy, you can buy it now for $260. It's a complete gun. It's got chrome pneumatics flaking. So good luck trying to sell that stuff. Not a lot of people are going to want flaky drum pneumatics. The regulator's not worth it. The barrel's not worth it. It does have a feed neck bod with a polymer Planet Eclipse feed neck. Okay, so you could take those $500 and take $260 of that and put it on this body here. Okay, but you still have a used gun, and you're assembling that, and if you're not savvy on putting that all together, you're paying someone like Cocker Top, Docfire, paying Tim Furpo, there's a lot of them out there, Bearded Works, to build it for you, and whatever their cost is. All right, build it for you, tune it. Shipping costs back and forth. You're paying shipping on all those items, which we didn't include. You're paying tax on all those items. You're going to pay tax. Well, you may be paying tax. Depends on where you're buying them from. So is it really, man, you really start looking at the numbers and, out of the box, you get a gun. This came shooting 340 out of the box. I'd rather have a gun come to me shooting hot than not. And I know there's big controversy with this when they first came out, the 17s. So what is your value? Now, if you're a person that likes to tinker and you know how to tune and you know how to build cockers and you have all the tools and all that good stuff, then have at it. Great. This conversation's not for you. In essence, it's for the person that is maybe shooting a sponge gun, an E-mech, or a shock tech gun, not shock tech, but a shocker CVO, and so they're or as Jason Antle would say, they're the space guns, and so this video is not for you. It's for the person that is going from shooting basically a sponge. That's what it feels like when you shoot those. I mean, don't get me wrong, they shoot good. They're fast, they're lightweight, they're very nimble, they have a lot of pros, but it's like shooting a sponge. No, it's not fun. It's dumb, in my opinion. But and you're going from that, you're taking someone to go from that into a gun that is reliable. That when they can take it out of the box, they can go to the chrono, it's gonna shoot, hot. They adjust a regulator. For instance, Shock Tech. How do you adjust these on the regulator? I got this. I didn't know that. They did put some videos out on that. Maybe I'll start working on that. But I talked to Danny. I said, hey, when I got this gun, it was shooting 340. I did the typical thing. I backed the IVG out. I backed it out to where it was actually flush. It was still shooting 300. So I went to the regulator, and he goes, oh, no, just keep it where that IVG is set in there and do everything off the regulator. He says, I want to build a gun that I give to a customer that goes out to a tournament that day and shoots it, and he doesn't have to take the gun apart to adjust it. He's adjusting it here, and it's a screw, an 1/8 inch Allen wrench screw over the chrono, just like you do any other space mech gun, and that's the concept behind it. That's what he was building the gun for, which makes a lot of sense. It doesn't tune like a normal cocker. Then he uses FU glue, which we all know about that, the green Loctite, right? FU glues a lot of parts on here, pisses a lot of people off, even me. I hate it. But he has a point for it. He wants to hand a gun to someone so they can take it to the field and they can shoot a tournament and the gun is not going to go down. The goal is not to have the gun go down. Because what does that do with any other brand cocker out there is, oh, I got a cocker. And it's a piece of shit. Gun went down. Tournament. I went and grabbed my space mech, shot perfect. Well, quite frankly, these guys can all shoot perfect. They really can. They shoot really good. Let's see, I'm gonna catch up on. So you guys lament about that stuff. Let's see, cocker type rated. Okay, I gotta go. Okay. Lopez, Inception Solo 14-inch with inserts. Freakus Tail Kit. Yeah. I don't know what all you guys are talking about on here. No drills, please. Yeah. So they're talking about drilling guns. Oh, yeah, that's sure. So yeah, this is the thing that really cracks me up. If I think this is what you guys are talking about up top a little bit, is that people are like, oh yeah, okay, so we've got auto. So we went to mech from electrical, right? some stupid fast. So we slowed things down. We went to max, and now I thought the days of e-cockers were done. Nope, we're back in it. People want e-cockers, and thank you Sci-Fi for building boards for us, or for people that want those. I don't know. I'm just not an e-cocker guy, and I don't know. I think if I'm going to spin it, do an I don't know. I'll get a Planet Eclipse stack tube E-gun or something like that, or Bob Long G6R. They shoot great, and that's what I would probably go with. But or go old school and do an AK, Excalibur, or Viking or something like that, the big tank guns. But so yeah, those are coming back. Weird. I thought we learned our lesson. Hopefully all the people that are doing e-guns don't buy anything new and drill it. Just, you don't even have to drill it now. You don't even need eyes on most of those guns. Where force-fed hoppers and stuff like that, and the new boards, you don't need eyes. You have to deal with that. But anyway, let's see. Let me catch up here. Dark Teardrop Cockers gets my vote. Okay, so yeah, the dark. Yeah, I remember the dark stuff. There's a lot of great stuff out there. It's kind of interesting. You see that the cockers have kind of come back, and there's kind of a flatlining right now, and I think that's just due to some COVID stuff. We're coming out of COVID. People are going out and playing paintball, and I think when these tournaments start going up and people they take their cocker out and they play that tournament with their cocker, they challenge themselves, and all day long you challenge yourself. That's the way I look at it. But so what is the best? Buy an old body or an old gun that who knows how many times it's been taken apart, what condition it's in, how worn out the threads are, all that stuff. Has it been re-anoded before? All those things. Is it worthwhile? And in my opinion, I think dollars, man, your best savings is buy new, period. Buy a new cocker. And it's not because I want you to buy one for me. If you like these, go ahead, buy them. I'm right on. Go ahead. We'll make more, right? I'm not gonna make a whole bunch, but we'll make more. But if you like free flow, go buy free flow stuff. If you like Inception, go buy that stuff. Greg from NFG does a great. He's I think one of the larger Inception dealers, and Greg's a good friend of mine. Does good work. They build some pretty nice stuff. They do raw kits from Inception, and they do builds, and they build their gun that is Inception. So, which is pretty cool. So get a gun from Greg from NFG. Buy from me. Buy from Buddy. Buy from whoever else is selling the new stuff, because the way to keep these small places up, like Jason Anto, Mark Davis, way to keep these businesses rolling, so you have this cool stuff out there, is you get to support them a little bit. And for me, I'm not worried if you guys come to my store or not. Just supporting the outer cocker community by challenging yourself and shooting something that makes sense. Just my viewpoint. Take it or leave it. People like it or not. But people have asked me, hey, when you do a review on the free flow? No, I'm not. It just doesn't make any sense. My last review I did outside, I may do some reviews on some paint. I don't know. I had to look into that because I'm pretty frustrated with paint lately. And I'm not a paint dealer. It doesn't make any sense. That's not a retail, but an online outlet. But I did my last review on the free flow, or not free flow pneumatics, but the dye pneumatics that's in collaboration with free flow. You guys saw that. I wasn't too happy with the quality of the product, and I'm not alone. There were several other folks out there that have either Facebook channels or YouTube channels that kind of voice their opinion also. And I know that I talked to Buddy personally, and I know that they're addressing the issues at Dye. So he wasn't too happy either, but that's a partnership, so they're working that out. And I hope that they come out with a great product, because the whole goal is I want options. I don't want just 2 companies. I want 3 or 4 companies, and to keep these 3 or 4 companies, or more companies to do that, is we need to make sure that people are putting autocockers in people's hands and they're successful with them. They're getting something and they go, hey, go play with this, go play a game with this. They come back like, man, this thing shot phenomenal, you know. And like, yeah, this is how a cocker's supposed to shoot. And it's funny. So I kind of go back to that post that was here yesterday, where this individual was asking about, you know, what's honestly, is it really worthwhile to go get one of these new guns? And I'm like, ah, man, it is. It totally is. So let me see if I can catch up here. Let's see. Okay, so Dylan's capitalized that somehow we got in the mags. Taylor White, so you're saying you want us to start ordering e-cockers and tech? Yeah. I don't know if Taylor, if you're asking me if I want that, I hate e-cockers. I'll do them. I've got a whole bunch of them. I had that turtle, and it was a nightmare. It was a turtle Oris, or however you pronounce that, and it was a prototype, and it was just a disaster. I ended up not charging the guy for it. I'm like, hey, look, I give up on this thing, and not that I gave up. It's just that I've got this thing working. I got it all back together, and it had that turtle valve, which is a ball bearing. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, it seals now, but I know it's not going to seal forever. And it didn't. It finally gave up the ghost. But yeah, it was. I just don't like working on those guns, because usually someone sends you an old one that's beat to shit. Just, you know, they just beat it up, and it needs too much. Those guns self-destruct through time. And if you're not on the maintenance on those guns or paintball markers, then yeah, it's just not worth it, in my view. So let's see if I can catch up here. Thanks. At Crickets, send gone. Email via the website. I don't know what local 433 Gumby is talking about. Let me see. Okay, they're talking about. I wonder if that's Gumby. Hey, local it is Gumby. That's Steve. So I won't use your name. That's because I know you're a union guy. That makes the local 433. Yep, that's like the electrical union. And Gumby, yeah. So that's yeah. I'm not gonna say anything. You know, I'm not gonna call you out there. Good guy. If you haven't ever met Gumby, he's a pretty outstanding guy. Yeah, Oris. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. All right. Gumby was at my house. He came up. Him and Gene from Autocock Parts came up and visited. Mean Gene, or not so mean Gene, came up and visited here about 6 months ago. They were up doing a tournament at Capital Edge Paintball. They wanted to come by and check out the Docfire collection, which is pretty pathetic now because it's been whittled away, and I've sold a lot of stuff off. But yeah. Let's see if I'm just catching. Let's try to catch up in here until I don't. Yeah, I think some of the Taylor, I agree with you. I think some of the guns, like carnivores, that were, you know, they really tried to build them. Well, they were all built as e-guns. They went down the right road. There were some flaws they had, like the aluminum pump arms that if you weren't on top of those, they were stripping out in the back. And at least the pump arm was stripping out and breaking and not totally destroying the threads. But yeah, you know, the MQ valve, man, I went through my nightmare with the MQ valve. I'm actually testing the stain valve, and I have the prototype in a trilogy of all things. Actually, it's probably going to go in this gun eventually, to test it, because it will fit. It's 11/16, so it's required. It needs 11/16 chamber for it. That's a whole conversation, right? 11/16 or the 9/16, which one's the best? Who cares? Okay, let me see. Dylan says, or Cocktop says, I think I fix 3 of the 4 electrodes a week, and sometimes it's quite tired. Yeah, I agree with you, Dylan. I don't know, something about mechanically tuning it. It's like, oh yeah, that looks about right. Let me adjust right up there. It's like you can listen to it. Usually you can kind of hear just by shooting air out of it that you're probably pretty close. Yeah, it's the Mr. Regnick. Yeah, Chili's is made. Yeah, the Chili's are great sleepers. I think, essentially, the Chili's internals bore dimensions are the same as the Resurrections and the Inceptions. Fairly close. The front bangeable area and stuff like that is obviously different, but they're very similar. And I think Wargames figured it out, that they said, hey, look at the cost of manufacturing these guns when at that time, everyone was shifting over to China, right? And the cost to manufacture, physically assemble an autococker, it's an expensive gun. It's got a lot of parts. And people go, well, why are they so expensive? Well, it's, go take apart your EMEC. It's an injection molded body. It's got an aluminum tube on the inside. It's got about 4 or 5 aluminum round parts in it. And they're just pretty simple. It's an O-ring gun. And rightfully so. They're cheap to assemble, they're cheap to make, and they can sell them at a lower price. Autocockers, man, it's a stack tube gun. The 9/16, you have a step bore down in there, steps down 3 times. It's threaded on the inside. It's a deep bore. So I'm not an expert in milling or like that, but that's expensive. And AKA had figured it out. They're like, hey, why don't I just bore this all the way through and make extrusion, right? And so I'm saving machine time and just make it larger bangeable. And so they simplified it. Wargames looked at that. Whoever came first, which is it's the egg or the chicken, whatever came first on that. Whoever came out with the first 11/16s, who knows? That one's, I probably will be debated for years. But yeah. Yep, right. It's not cheap. So, the 11/16s just makes sense. You don't have a jam nut that, if it's not installed correctly, and it loosens up, and your hammer beats the hell of that jam nut and tears those threads up. Actually, my first reflow gun that I bought, I'm like, oh, my first reflow gun, and I get it, and it's not working right. It's leaking out the valve. Well, it's because someone didn't tighten that jam nut and destroy the thread, so I have to mill that one out to 11/16s. But hey, but it just, to me, the valve makes sense, or should be correct, the valve body dimensions make sense. Just people, I don't necessarily want to get into this, but really the only difference is between a AKA 9/16 valve and a AKA 11/16 valve is that uses exactly the same pin. They're interchangeable, right? Just the body is a little bit bigger on one of them. Internal bores are the same. There's nothing different. And people go, well, it's a little taller on top. But no, you've already milled that away in the body, so it's all the same. Doesn't lengthen anything, or like that. So yeah. So it's, I don't know. I think it just makes sense in the machining aspect to do that. But not everyone. Shock tag has done that. I've complained to Danny about that, but he is stuck in something that works, and that's his bear. It's not my company. I'm not machining it. It's not, I would love to have the Fire Series to be 11/16 guns, but they're not. Okay, Taylor says, AK was the first 11/16. Still remember when it started becoming popular, though I played AK in the field. Let me go grab something. I can grab one of my AK guns. Hold on. You got one? I'm coming back. All right. Coming back. There we go. Got a drink too. Make some room here. Desk. All right, so pull off these things. So this right here is my first custom build I ever did. Now, it didn't look like this. This is a AK Merlin that I bought from G3 Paintball back in the day. And people, if you remember G3, that was kind of the premier autococker place, at least in my book, to go to get kind of some premier parts. And this one I built, it's a jackal machine, some of the first millings. If you remember, some of they had the back blocks that were stuffed in there. So the Merlin, the MacDev rig on it. I'm trying to. Yes, it's drilled, not by me, unfortunately. I sold this. PK selected the anodizing on this out of San Jose. Yes, I was cheap back then. This is the first expensive gun I ever bought and built. And I had PK do the anodizing. The anodizing is absolutely stunning still. We're just blue. And I had a chrome frame. It was back when chrome, got you home, right? And so I had chrome pneumatics, I had a chrome frame, I had a chrome ANS, a matching chrome or stainless steel and ANS rag, stuff like that. This is the press-on feed neck version with the wire detent, and but it's nice. It had the conical spring up front, the spider spring, because they didn't have that little spacer in there yet. This gun would shoot. Output pressure on the rag was right around, I want to say about 160 psi when it was brand new, when I was shooting it. It shot amazing. I did a couple tournaments in this when I was trying to do tournaments, and then working for Cal Fire, you're kind of screwed. Sometimes a shot, so, but it shot amazing. And this is kind of where I became a big fan of AKA. And it just hold it up there still, so I got to learn that I can't move things around like crazy. People sometimes want to see things. This I haven't really done. I got it back. I put this frame on it because it matched, and I haven't really done anything to it. Shoots fine, nothing fancy. I bought this gun. This is my AK round body Merlin. I've had so many AKs, it's sick, and I've sold so many that I wish I would have kept. This is blue acid. This one had a chrome humpback angry frame on it. Came with a hinge, and with chrome pneumatics. I had not Shocktech. It had Palmer's pneumatics on it, and that all stuff came up. Oh yeah, what's this? What is this? Oh, that's something that you've probably never seen before. But yeah, because that's a prototype. Dylan's seen that before. So I'm so hard to keeping up with the chat, so I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'll try to keep up with it. This one, the guy that I think owned this originally has been trying to buy it back from me several times. This gun is an amazing shooter. Just shoots all day long. I love it. It's a go-to gun. It's a bag gun. It's rough. It's got its scratches, but just a great shooter. Amazing shooter. Whoa. Actually, I want to bring this gun back out and talk a little bit about this one. When we were talking about, what's one of the things we didn't talk about, and let's see. Yeah, one of the things we didn't talk about were custom builds. And, when you go into custom builds, if you're looking at building a conquer, get ready to just open the wallet, because the milling and the anodizing is alone, the parts are going to be what they are. Raw or already anodized black, they're going to be the same price. And then you're going to have your milling cost. So you're going to go to a person like Jason Antle or some of these other folks that are doing some custom milling. Jason's really the only one that I know that's really taking, advertising work and taking on work. You have Daniel Vazani from Killshot Customs. He's not really doing custom work. He does his own custom work. So good luck getting stuff done from him. But like this is, for instance, this was a gun that was done for Fight Club. And it's got the Killshot Customs. This is he's going to be coming out with these frames. These are the Meteor frames. Oh, by the way, this is the Scone flat trigger. I'll be doing a review on that. I will be doing a review on that, I think. Mark Davis and Scone came up with this flat trigger. Kind of 1911-isk style. I actually like it, especially on this frame. To me, it's really nice. But this was one that he did for Fight Club. If you look at it, it's a right feed body, and if I can get that in the camera, you see he has a custom neck on it. There's only, I think, 3 of these made with that body. And then in this frame, the trigger in this frame is all pinned, and the trigger is machined. I think that this is a custom wire EDM trigger plate. Everything he builds, and then it's custom fitted to the Scone. And this is by far, I can't explain this trigger pull. It's like, man, it's like taking, it's like getting a really large ball bearing, like a Temkin bearing or something like that, and a really smooth one that's got oil in it, and it's just smooth. As you spin it around, it has, like, it's effortless. That's what this is. It is just quintessentially the best trigger I've ever felt. Amazing. Just an amazing trigger. So let's see, what if I let's see, thanks for the info. I'll be putting your tornado in my ID ripper tomorrow. I'm trying to say sorry. Let's see. Yeah, so they're talking about, I got to be careful. Dylan will try to overtake a chat, but Matt, that's who he is. They're talking about putting different valves and resurrections. Resurrections 11/16. Use inception valves. You can use Palmer's trilogy valves. You can use a trilogy valve, the low pressure trilogy valve, which is, if you find one of those, really what I recommend putting in there. Will work amazing. AK valves work in there, as long as they're sealing. Some of the older ones are starting to show some age on them, and yeah, you can do that. I recommend the trilogy valve. That's my secret. Put a trilogy valve. I like Inception's valve, but I think it has a really narrow tuning window, and it's a higher pressure running valve, which is fine. Higher pressure or low pressure. It's either low pressure, high volume, or high pressure, lower volume. In essence, it's works fine. I've always been kind of a low pressure guy, high volume, because I look at it now. Most places have endless air, so you're not running out of air on the field for most games. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like the neck too. He only did a few of these. People have asked him to do more. Now the funny thing is, I was at his shop when this was, he just got it back, just built it, and when it was going up to the Fight Club. So I actually got to shoot this before it went up on Fight Club for its appreciation there. And then it came back to Fight Club to be reappreciated, re-liked by someone else. And I ended up appreciating it, if that makes sense. And it came to me. And so it was kind of like full circle. I saw it right after it was built, and it went away for a couple of years, and the person kind of used it. But this is an amazing shooter, by the way. Super, super good shooter. And Visani, if you guys haven't, I don't, everything's put away, so it's packed for Super Game right now. Super Game Indiana's coming up. So I'll be there. If anyone's going to Super Game Indiana, Docfire will be there with Dan Visani from Killshot. We're going to have the Troutmans that we met there last year. I can remember names, horrible names. Simon Stevens will be there. I think Greg Lund will be there. He was supposed to show last year, but he had a work commitment. But yeah, so we'll see. But hopefully I'll see some of you guys there. Anyone going to Super Game in Indiana? Let's see. I was at Super Game Oregon with Dylan. He was part of the Killshot Customs and Docfire booth. Actually, Killshot Custom booths. We had Jason Antle, Cockertop Dylan Gonzalez. Hopefully I pronounced your name right. Dan Visani from Killshot Customs. We had Ryan Jamieson from RJ Paintball. All those stuff that I think Dylan does all the building for him. We had Mark Davis Mark Davis Autocockers, the Mark Autocockers. And Mark Davis Hand Engraving does amazing work. You haven't seen that if you want some custom stuff done. But we were going to talk about custom stuff. Yeah. Anyway, which made me think I kind of get spaceballed every once in a while. Yes, so the next release, he was supposed to have it released by Oregon. He's working through. Let me go back. So the Krakens were made off extrusions that were leftover extrusions from AKA, the extrusion that he milled from AKA that he bought from Jared. And he pretty much ran out of that extrusion. There was no more of that extrusion left. There may be some small pieces here and there, but not enough for what he wants to do on the Maelstrom. But so he's working through a process. He has all the metal of essentially machining, gun drilling that stuff, and he wants to do it right. He doesn't want to have to waste metal and stuff like that. So he pushed the release on it, but it is coming. That's I know with Dan, he will get it done. But yeah, those are badass. I have the prototype number 3, and it is an amazing shooter. I mean, it's an awesome gun. Period. Even my Kraken's amazing. So there may be some new things coming from Docfire too. So stay tuned. Kind of gonna flip through here. Let's see. Dylan's getting called out yet? No, he's not getting called out. Dylan he likes to talk. He's got a lot of good information. He's a good guy to go and get intel from, and he has a lot of good cocker knowledge. A lot of folks do. Sometimes, the funny thing is, the paintball community is so interesting at times, and I've been guilty of this, right? Where, I think we all become the keyboard ninja, and sometimes I think we should have an app that allows you to type something, but it doesn't allow you to send it. It's like a drunk app where you don't send it right, and you get to read it the next day. And so yeah, that would be great. Maybe we would alleviate a lot of problems, because there's so many different ways to skin a cat, right? And we, especially in the cocker world, right? We skin a lot of different cats different ways, and this gun's a piece of junk. This gun's a piece of junk. Yeah, I don't know. I think every manufacturer makes a piece of junk gun out of a series of great guns. It just happens. Sometimes they just get a poorly manufactured one for the day. It was built on a Monday or built on a Friday or Monday, either hungover or wanting to go home. So, that happens. That happens everywhere. Let's see. Yep, Taylor, right. Docfire new gear coming. Yeah, I got some stuff in the works. I have some quotes out there. I got some ideas. I will show you maybe a piece of a prototype, and you can see. I gotta bring it. Oh, there you go. That's all you need to see. There we go. Yeah, that's all you need to see. Yeah, that stuff is just, you guys may be able to figure that out. Oh, I enjoy Dylan talking cockers. You can. Yeah. So, yeah, no, Dylan buys a lot of parts. So a lot of the stuff that if you guys get your guns tuned at Dylan, a lot of this pneumatic hose and stuff that he buys from me, which I'm very thankful. So thank you, Dylan, for doing that. I'll get you that invoice for the more hose you have. And let's see, rake seat. Nope, it's not a rake seat. I can do rake seats. You know that, Gumby. It's, I don't know if I showed you guys that project we heard. There's some things, Gumby, there's some things I hid from you and Gene when you're here, because not that I don't trust Gene, but there's certain things that you just got to put on the back shelf. I found out in the paintball world that it's first to the trough usually gets to feed the most, right? So I'm not showing it again. So you can rewind it as much as you want. You guys can figure it out. There's a couple other things. It's like these were interesting. These are 3D printed parts, and I'm going to try to everything in focus there. And I can show you this. This is Dylan's seen this. Oh, yeah, it's on this one. This guy. Okay, so I did the little Right, yes, that's a little piece of blue painter's tape out there, so I'm going to see if I can get this there. Yep, that's a stainless steel 3-way. Stainless steel shaft. This is prototype number 1. And there are only a few of these made. And if you see, that's a shell. This is called the sacrificial shell. These are out. Guys are prototyping it. And so that's just, I 3D printed something just to make it look a little different. You have different options. Oops, we're getting stuck on there. This is aluminum. You can make these in any shape. Actually, I don't even need the hole on the end. My design doesn't even require that hole. So if you look at this guy, it doesn't have a hole on the end. So you get shot in your pneumatics. Go on focus. There we go. Get shot in your pneumatics. You're not going to blow paint into that 3-way. And I've seen that happen a lot, where paint gets blown in there and you kind of eat up a shell gets in there between an O-ring, especially on these I've seen it on shock techs and I've seen it on exceptions, and where that's happened. And it just seems a little more susceptible to that if you get a piece of shell in there. Or dirt. And so the idea is to kind of plug that in. There's no need for it. It is a 3 O-ring design. It is a hexagon back. And it has an adjuster on the front. And it's not a hexed, a broached hex, because broaching it costs more money. And so I just made it a T-slot, or a slot where I can put it the same size Allen that you would use, goes in there and it still turns it like a screwdriver. So works fine. I mean, you don't need much force on that, but these are out, they work. These I'm working on finding a manufacturer if I'm going to continue with it. If not, I may sell the idea if someone wants to buy it. I have all the plans. I have a machine shop that's supposed to be getting me a quote on it. I will only sell the design if it's USA made, period. Only. I'm a kind of, I like things that are made in the USA or North America or in the EU. I have an issue with certain regions of the world manufacturing stuff, and I think because we can make it better. And I think, well, Shock Tech, the Shock Tech, where's my Shock Tech? This gun right here. Let me do something. Let me do this. "100% made in the USA, except this plastic thing. That's PVC. That's not part of the gun. And the O-rings and screws, can't guarantee where they were made. And I do know the air fittings were made in Italy, so EU. 100% made in the USA, outside of screws and O-rings. Field 1, Field 1's barrels are the only thing they have, only hard part they have made in overseas. I don't know exactly where overseas, but Field 1, the old Bob Long, they make everything in the USA too. I do like that company, and they're producing a product that is that's a tournament-proven gun, a marker, and although I'm not into space guns, and it's competitive, so they're just willing to have a little lower profit margin. And the way I look at it, if Shock Tech can make things in the USA, why can't these other companies? So I really want to support that. So, all right, so I got my dog here, and let's bring Angus into the, come on, Angus, get up here. This is the shop dog, Angus, he's a year old. He can go back down, he's probably peeing on something. Let me catch up on this, and then I'll probably see if there's any questions. Yeah, TJG, I reached out to him about carrying some of his Rams. I do have one of his Rams brand new, and I haven't had a chance to really delve into it. There is a good overview on it, on how it's disassembles by, I think, their main seller. Forgetting the name of the company for the life of me that sells them. But You know, I think the only thing I've kind of heard from folks on the TJG RAM is that they were sometimes having a sealing with that inner square O-ring was having a sealing issue. And they apparently resolved that. And I think I wish they had a little further throw on it. So I think the throw is just right at the end. I like a little longer throw in RAM. But that's all, it's personal preference, right? So let me see. The daily driver is a 2000 War Games. This is from Redneck or Rayneck. Right feed with the classic aluminum neoprene side. Yeah, I love this. And because it looks a little like an original 95 Carker, but it all has a nice quality. Yeah, I agree with you. I have my original 99 side feed with the aluminum with the neoprene on the front. And quite frankly, I have the brass stuff on it because it works good. Just really, there's nothing wrong with it. I use the Oracle valve and springs on the inside, and I just have an adjustable regulator, and I took the polymer frame off and put on I think I have Gene from UncleHuckerParts.com. I think I have his die single finger hinge, the die that look-alike that he did, or similar to that. So let's see. Miss anything else? I'm trying to think. I got a lot of stuff going on, so like the Reg Dino stuff and all that stuff's been really kind of put on hold. I'm sorry about that, guys. And I took some flack on that, but hey, what do you do? It is what it is. Some people weren't happy with my results, but oh well, build a better product. Reg seats, I'm looking. Show it again. All right, well, hey, that's it. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I'm going to try to do these more often. We'll see. Kind of a cool backdrop, I think. And but we'll go from there. All right, Docfire's out. You guys all have a great one.